Had I translated the message correctly you would not have gone to Minsk, and your squadron would have escaped. Tell me that you forgive me." She looked bewitching as she stood pleading her cause in front of me, and yet as I thought of my dead men I could not take the hand which she held out to me. "Very good," said she, as she dropped it by her side. "You feel for your own people and I feel for mine, and so we are equal. But you have said one wise and kindly thing within these walls, Colonel Gerard. You have said one man more or less can make no difference in a struggle between two great armies. Your lesson of nobility is not wasted. Behind those fagots is an unguarded door. Here is the key to it. Go forth, Colonel Gerard, and I trust that we may never look upon each other's faces again." I stood for an instant with the key in my hand and my head in a whirl. Then I handed it back to her. "I cannot do it," I said. "Why not?" "I have given my parole." "To whom?" she asked. "Why, to you." "And I release you from it." My heart bounded with joy. Of course, it was true what she said. I had refused to give my parole to Stergone. I owed him no duty. If she relieved me from my promise my honour was clear. I took the key from her hand. "You will find Captain Barakoff at the end of the village street," said she. "We of the North never forget either an injury or a kindness. He has your mare and your sword waiting for you. Do not delay an instant, for in 2 hours it will be dawn." So I passed out into the starlit Russian night and had that last glimpse of Sophie as she peered after me through the open door. She looked wistfully at me as if she expected something more than the cold thanks which I gave her. But even the humblest man has his pride, and I will not deny that mine was hurt by the deception which she had played upon me. I could not have brought myself to kiss her hand, far less her lips. The door led into a narrow alley, and at the end of it stood a muffled figure who held Violette by the bridle. "You told me to be kind to the next French officer whom I found in distress," said he. "Good luck, bon voyage," he whispered as I bounded into the saddle. "Remember, Poltava is the watchword." It was well that he had given it to me, for twice I had to pass Cossack pickets before I was clear of the lines. I had just ridden past the last vedettes and hoped that I was a free man again when there was a soft thudding in the snow behind me and a heavy man upon a great black horse came swiftly after me. My first impulse was to put spurs to Violette. My second, as I saw a long black beard against a steel cuirass, was to halt and await him. "I thought it was you, you dog of a Frenchman!" he cried, shaking his drawn sword at me. "So you have broken your parole, you rascal!" "I gave no parole." "You lie, you hound!" I looked around and no one was coming. The vedettes were motionless and distant. We were all alone, with the moon above and the snow beneath. Fortune has ever been my friend. "I gave you no parole." "You gave it to the lady." "Then I will answer for it to the lady." "That would suit you better, no doubt. But unfortunately you will have to answer for it to me." "I am ready." "Your sword, too. There is treason in this. I see it all. The woman has helped you. She shall see Siberia for this night's work." The words were his death warrant. For Sophie's sake I could not let him go back alive. Our blades crossed, and an instant later mine was through his black beard and deep in his throat. I was on the ground almost as soon as he, but the one thrust was enough. He died, snapping his teeth at my ankles like a savage wolf. 2 days later I had rejoined the army at Smolensk, and was a part once more of that dreary procession which tramped onward through the snow, leaving a long wheel of blood to show the path which it had taken. Enough, my friends. I would not reawaken the memory of those days of misery and death. They still come to haunt me in my dreams. When we halted at last in Warsaw, we had left behind us our guns, our transport, and 3/4 of our comrades. But we did not leave behind us the honour of Etienne Gerard. They have said that I broke my parole. Let them beware how they say it to my face, for the story is as I tell it, and old as I am my forefinger is not too weak to press a trigger when my honour is in question. End of section 16 and end of How the Brigadier Rode to Minsk.